Fill a hole in my head with a violin. Everybody loves a gun and it goes blast, blast and stuff. There it is again. And cell can be activated. And there's a screenshot. Feeling someone's been activated. Have you guys ever felt... Have you ever felt? It just reminds me of sellout. Not sellout as in selling out, but SELOUT as in selective outlining, which was a pixel art thing that was presented on some forums. Those forums where it had the guy like, who hates me? My monkey hates me. I mate with sows. You know what I'm talking. Of course you do. But I'm sure it's nothing to do with that. Do you ever feel like you're acting a lot, or is it just me? You know, I mean, I don't have any point of reference, but you know I'm on the autism spectrum. Asperger's is the original diagnosis. It doesn't exist anymore, but hey, whatever. Labels are super great. You can use them for personal identity and get super tight in a knot about them and then get all dumb. Yeah. So I don't have any point of reference on what's normal, which is why I tend to just like be cautious. You know, like when I put up that video about how I think about visual stuff, like the followed by. And so I'm thinking that people are going to say, oh, yeah, that's normal. Because maybe they will, because I never know what's me and what's actually super common, so I don't want to walk around saying like, oh, look at me, I'm so special and unique, and people go like, no, you aren't, you frigging jerk face. What's all this? Anyways, yes, nice water. Bit, not Ocarina of Time, bit Wind Waker-ish. Whether that's good or bad, I'll leave it up to personal interpretation. Does look nice, though, but not as emotional as Oblivion, though. So anyway, my point being, I learned throughout my life what is sort of expected for someone to say in a given situation. Like, if someone says something vaguely resembling X, then normally you would say something vaguely resembling Y, right? Which, on the surface, that might sound like, well, that's fine. But then the problem is nothing you say is really genuine, potentially, because you're literally just pulling from your databanks. You're like, okay, if someone says this statement, I'm to react in a way that displays emotion in this way. But do I feel anything? Because I'm just doing what you're supposed to do, which does help things go smoother. But then sometimes the things I say are coming from a place of feeling very strongly and being very sincere and genuine about it. Can you tell the difference? I hope to frickin' God! Anyways, I'm working on it. Because I did have to lie about certain things. Well, I didn't have to. I thought that I had to. I perceived that I had to, you might say. Because when you're a kid, you think people are going to dump you in a ditch and abandon you if you make them mad or say the wrong thing or something. So, yeah, fortunately, I snuggle-huggled my past self. It was amazing. I can't recommend it enough. And that's how I got to have my latest videos up, which... say things that are amazing. Amazing. Amazing things that are genuine and coming from a place of feeling very, very strongly. Also, there's a lot of coming going on. and also warmth while you're coming. I know, you didn't think that was possible, right? You thought you just felt garbage. Well, guess what? You don't have to. Oh, if you do exactly the right thing and put your mind in a good place, you can actually feel like you just got hugged when you come. I know! What is all that, a grave? It's a grave made up of course, it's a flower. It's got to be a grave, obviously. So that may be sort of okay most of the time because most of the situations are just not that important. So you just say whatever and everything's kind of fine. And maybe people don't expect you to mean it either because, like, sometimes, a lot of times people say something that to me sounds very clear and specific. Oh, I see you there. Oh. But then I act according to it, and then they just seem to change their mind and act like, you know, you ever been in that situation? Like someone says, well, let's do X unless you want to do Y. And then you're like, I do want to do Y. And then they're like, oh, what the hell? And I'm like, but you just said. These trees are fairly pretty, though, but not as emotional as Oblivion. What the hell is this little tree? Only big trees allowed, permitted. Oh, this is why I seem like I don't have problems, because I've spent decades practicing looking like I am just totally normal and smooth. It's because I know what I am supposed to say, and I say it, and everybody goes like, oh, what a normal, smooth guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Also, I'm not sure how having a partner would, like, be good for either of you in terms of, like, getting, like, doing what you want in life. Wouldn't you just hold each other back? Like, for real? Wouldn't you just hold each other back? Like, I get that sometimes you need other people to do something more efficiently or whatever, but then that's kind of like, you need a band to play music unless you want to have it be like really difficult. But I'm just like, but that's such a frigging annoyance because now you got to communicate, which is freaking impossible. I see music in colors and textures and all synesthetically, and I see it like airplanes looping, and I hear like, okay, so I want this music to be like wind, and they think I mean a wind sample. I'm like, no, not a wind sample. I want it to be like wind. And like, what the hell do you mean? I'm like, like the red and the black. There's no wind sample in the red and black. No. And then like, how the hell am I supposed to be a perfectionist and communicate exactly the perfect peak of amazing emotion that'll just give you chills if everybody is just this different asshole who all doesn't fucking understand emotion? All they understand is how to hit the damn notes. They're like, oh, the music theory this, music theory that. I'm like, God, you guys, will you just shut the hell up? Don't you understand the emotion I'm trying to convey here? You have to be slightly off here. Like, no, you don't. Like, you should be on. It doesn't sound good if you're off key, but you see this off key version. Like, ignore the fact that it's off key for just a second and like see how this actually has more emotion in it than the on key version. Is there a way we can be on key but still have the same emotion? People look at you blankly like they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Arg! No, it's better to do shit by yourself, because then you don't have that garbage. Except then you have to learn everything yourself. I don't know. Oh, also, you want to know something else super dark? Possibly, maybe? Maybe I shouldn't say this because it's great material. But let's say, just totally randomly, that the emotion of sadness is something you enjoy. So you like to watch movies that make you cry, for example. Not a problem, right? Lots of people probably feel that way. So you just like feeling that emotion, right? Not a problem. But I present to you this scenario. What if something actually really tragic happens in real life and you feel sadness and you enjoy the feeling, but the reason you're feeling it is because something really bad happened to someone else? So does that mean you're enjoying the fact that bad things are happening to people because it gives you your emotional hit? Because sadness, that's a flowing emotion. I mean sadness specifically, not depressingness, not bleakness, not despair. Those are different. Those are the absence of emotion. That's like a stopping up. Sadness is like a river flowing through you, and it's almost the same as joy, but just with some slight flavor difference, but not very much. You know what I mean? Because they both feel really flowing and like really strongly feely. So sadness also tends to have this tinge of like hope or okayness or something, whereas bleakness, despair doesn't. It's really, really unpleasant. But sadness is like it contains within it the this shall pass thing. Like it contains its own impermanence within it. And it's like if you're sad, it's probably because you've lost something you love. So like it's kind of almost is joy mixed. Yeah. That's why I like it, I guess. Whereas despair, it's like the pitch blackest thing ever because you never think it's going to end, and it kind of doesn't ever somehow. It just goes on and on and on and on. So yes, sadness. I'm used to being alone, though. That's not lonely necessarily, just on my own. There's many great advantages. I can do whatever I want for some freaking reason. And yes, if I get absolutely no human social contact, I do go kind of crazy, but I only need a little. And I don't see what's so bad about that, ? Except that I guess you don't get physical contact, which is literally the best thing in the history of anyone. Snuggling is the frickin' best. Alas, when people think that you're frickin' married, then it's super annoying. Yeah, I don't actually want to be your boyfriend. I literally just want to snuggle. Hey. Funny I can say that now because I don't give a shit now. Whereas before I was like, I can't say that. That makes me one of those douche bros. That makes me one of those douche bros, don't it? I don't care if it does because I know I'm not, so fuck you. Have you done the thing I can't seem to say coherently? Good. Anyway, whatever. What the hell is love supposed to be anyway? I mean, seriously, it has to be an emotion, right? Because if it's not an emotion, what else could it be? An action? It's clearly not an action because you could take actions that seem caring but aren't because you have some ulterior motive or you're trying to manipulate someone or someone pressured or guilted you into it. You can take actions without feeling, so you can't say it's an action. And if it's not an action, then what the hell else could it be but a feeling? But you don't feel feelings most of the time. You feel them some of the time. So what the hell does I love you even mean? It's stated in the passive tense like it's just always true. What does that mean? You mean I feel the emotion of love for you all the time, sometimes, half the time, on a regular schedule? What? How the fuck does anything mean? And some couples be like, we've been together 50 years. Good for you. That makes no sense. Oh, yeah. And so that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sing and do music because I always know I feel emotionally great with that. And unless my voice gives out and hurts my throat. Well, actually, those are two separate things. Then I feel miserable and like shooting myself. But anyways, yeah, because fuck all this human, incomprehensible bullshit. People are never clear. Communication. A lot of people saying that these days, and I'm like, hey, are people finally realizing that that's what you gotta do to like have anybody know anything? Are people becoming slightly more logical? Maybe! Also, fuck what you're supposed to do. When I was young, I just assumed, I guess I'm gonna grow up and get married and have kids and get a house and a car. Like, not that I wanted those things, except for the car, particularly, or had any strong feelings. I'm like, I don't know, that's what people do. I guess that's what I'll end up doing, question mark? Haha! Nope. Because you have to be someone from the 50s to do that, and alas, I'm some crazy weirdo, but in a good way, because weirdo has been co-opted to mean like a creep, which is just super unfortunate, and I'm going to start a campaign to reclaim the word weirdo because it's weird, and don't we like weird? Isn't there some Disney cartoon where the protagonist likes weird, and it's the charming? It's the charming? Probably. This water. There's a very slight thing, which... I sort of made a video about that, but I'm going to redo it and like add to it because I feel like it's just not good enough. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be novel because one time on a stream, I think, I said like, gentle water is like nails on a chalkboard, and someone was like, really? That's weird. So hopefully I'll think it'll be weird and not just go, that's normal. Pretty sure it ain't. Blorgle!